It's Kenya's bold newspaper. No deal. Strike continues. Total shutdown. The country was effectively on lockdown yesterday as Kenyans poured into the streets to protest soaring fuel prices as chaos unfolded at home. President William Ruto's social media pages were awash with images of him in Baku, Azerbaijan, meeting dignitaries appearing detached from the unfolding crisis and the suffering of the very people who elected him, especially at such a moment of national strain. It was only in the evening that Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen held a press conference where he appeared like a deer caught in the headlights to blame opposition politicians for the unrest. The remarks, as has become routine, leaned heavily on scapegoating with tribal undertones while sidestepping the central reality. Wananchi were on the streets because life has become unbearable under skyrocketing fuel prices, with the ripple effect crippling the economy. There's a picture here. It's a beautiful picture, but it's a Monday afternoon picture of empty streets, usually very busy highway, absolutely heavy with no traffic.
Yeah.
Security, 4 people were killed, several others injured and property destroyed during the protests. Businesses in major economic hubs remained closed amid fears of vandalism and looting. Schools were shut. Others recorded low attendance due to security concerns and transport disruptions. Many Kenyans were forced to walk, as concerns transport, to work after matatu operators withdrew their services. The economy is estimated to lose about 3 billion shillings for every day of demonstrations, or nobody going anywhere, essentially. The picture is not a good one, folks.
Nope.
It doesn't look good at all. And this is where somebody steps in and says, okay, let's see what we can do to fix the situation. So that's going to form a lot of our conversation this morning. And I know that, Dennis, you go off to KTN at 9 o'clock to then be able to continue with that commentary. So we will continue that conversation and we'll just be able to see what's going on where. Theatre of Hope, how Silent Tana River Ward came alive to save lives. This is on page 2. That's a story that you need to look at. Sometimes you find a diamond in the rough, and it seems like this ward is that diamond. Achesa wants negotiations on extortion case. I'm sorry, but there's an allegation against you.
Yeah.
You've charged with doing a certain thing. All of the paperwork and the trail leads to you, my friend, and then you've been charged and you get a case, and now you suddenly want to negotiate. You want to negotiate that maybe you didn't extort people? Okay, well, interesting. Former Sports Cabinet Secretary Rashid Achesa and businessman Joseph Hendricks Waswa have filed an application to block a prayer by the Director of Public Prosecutions to withdraw a 240 million shilling extortion case pitting the two against Kakamega Governor Fernandez Baraza. The DPP, in his application before Kibera Magistrate Stella Tambo, sought to withdraw the charges against Achesa and Waswa under Section 87 of the Criminal Procedure Code, meaning that they could be charged afresh. Okay. However, their lawyer, June Ashioya, in her application wants the court to allow her clients to negotiate with the DPP and Baraza to have the case fully terminated under Section 204 of the CPC. So yeah, we're not even it's not whether we extorted these folks. It's not whether 240 million shillings went down the crapper. What we're saying is, can we have a conversation and maybe you toss it out the window? Really? Yeah, that's what it looks like now. A very, very sad story. Gospel singer Rachel Wandeto succumbs to burn injuries after brutal attack in Mweki. I don't care what side of the political divide somebody's on. I don't care that such brutality had been met on her and that her life now is gone is unjustifiable, unreasoned. It doesn't matter that you can even say that there was no intent to kill her. I don't care.
I don't care.
That should not have been done to her. It doesn't matter where you stand. That we cannot see such senseless behavior that results in death. Nothing that you can say or do will make this okay.
For those thugs, those goons, those murderers who did this, you're the weakest individuals to ever walk on the face of the earth, man.
Yeah.
You're the weakest of them all. And that is utter nonsense.
Total nonsense. And you want to come and tell me because she has a hat? Do whatever.
So what?
Do whatever you want to do.
You suppose somebody else go get a tattoo.
Well, you don't want it. Come on. Because that's what we're talking about. For those who don't know, she went to, she's a gospel singer and she has a tattoo. She had a tattoo of the president on her shoulder. And people who are against the president, first of all, look, I can't even voice the reason because it is so stupid. It's asinine in the most in the deepest way something can be asinine, that this happened to her, and that he took that action? No.
Yeah.
No. There's a picture that's taken by Joseph Kipsang. Also interestingly, that he won an award over the weekend. And there's a picture that he's taken there of a youth protesting against the high fuel prices. They barricade the Nakuru-Nairobi highway at the free area, causing major traffic disruption. Well, not that there was much traffic yesterday, but okay. But I think it was interesting that picture, look at what it captures. And the headline there is, Ruto under fire over silence as transport crisis paralyzes the nation. That's a fantastic picture, Joe. But a picture tells 1,000 words, and that's what it is. This gentleman, is he trying to stomp out the fire? Did he light it? But somebody's under fire, that's for sure. Economy suffers billions in losses as businesses remain closed. It's another story that we're looking at in the Standard today. And then we also see that protests over fuel prices leave trail of death as talks collapse. Transport paralysis as fuel protests begin, and folks are saying, the way. So we said, dear Mr. President, yesterday, it's not, oh, please, woye, woye. No, the prices are too high. Whichever way you want to look at it, the prices are too high. There's a pictorial of all the different things that we're seeing yesterday. And on the right side of that is a picture of the President, William Ruto, holding talks, and in this case, shaking hands with his Azerbaijan counterpart, Ilham Aliyev, at the Baku Olympic Stadium. Okay. Yeah. So while that was happening, a businessman has been charged with 150 million shillings, Westlands land for. Somebody can just rock up and say, well, this is mine, I'm going to start building on it. And then you come back later and say, excuse me, it's mine. And you say, what? Yeah, well, I was, charged. The opinion pages with my friend Gitahi. Unlike in the past, governments do not fear Kenyan artists. So opinion pages there, and we're going to some of those opinions. Of course, Lista Nyaringo with his column there, and quite a number of them in the Reader's Corner as well. The Financial Standard today, being Tuesday, of course, looks at the subsidy gamble that risks reviving fuel adulteration, and we're looking at a lot of these other things as well. Get your copy of the Standard today, or get a copy of the paper. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so let's go to the Daily Nation as well. There, an image of Kenyans on the streets protesting against the high fuel prices, and the headline says, "A total paralysis. A transporters strike over rising fuel prices grinds the country to a halt." So there we have images of a man peeping through the entrance of a closed shop in downtown Nairobi, as well as police arresting protesters outside the Kenya National Archives in Nairobi yesterday. And an ambulance drives past ramping protesters in Kitengela town. I also witnessed that along Naivasha Road as well, as an ambulance was going to evacuate individuals who found themselves in that melee. Now, on page 2, total paralysis as Kenyans demand lower fuel prices. Human face of police emerges amid demos. So this one talks about amid running battles, clouds of fear, and protest over rising fuel prices in Machakos yesterday. A touching moment unfolded when police officers came to the aid of a physically challenged man caught up in the chaos. So that goes to say, police, that those police officers who are doing a great job, and to that we say, thank you for a good job well done. On page 4 and 5, now it's a pictorial of everything that happened across the country due to the Matatu strike, and Kenyans going on the streets as well in support of the same. On page 6, fuel protest paralyzed learning nationwide. And this is something for me that is troubling, because already as we speak, schools either get closed early because competition has not gotten there, and here we also see the education calendar again being affected because of fuel prices. One asks the question, in boarding schools, learning continues as normal. Yes. Day schools have been affected. So when we set that exam, where is equality?
It's not.
It doesn't exist.
No.
One would hope that the government of Kenya would look into that and at least address the situation. Now, goons hijack protest, unleash violence on innocent Kenyans. That was tough to watch yesterday. As we're doing the commentary, I don't know if you saw that, that lady who was just ransacked by people while she was